Hi guys, welcome to the Melanin Gold channel. And I'm coming to you about a story. I wasn't sure I wanted to. Well, at first, I heard about this a couple of days back and I didn't really care to report it. But there's a reason why I'm coming to you with it now because I learned something new about it that I did not know. It's about the Trump supporting Pastor Darrell Scott. Now, I'm sure most of you heard that um, he is basically being sued for $563,000 in back rent in a big house in Ohio that he was renting, and he stopped paying the rent. And this house was like a $1.9 million home. And there's nothing with renting a house that you can afford, but if you're um it seemed in the report he was kind of living from week to week off of money. And to me, if you're doing that, why not buy something that's nice, that's like one third the size of a 1,400 square foot mansion? And it seemed like it was just him and his wife living in his home. So, like, I don't really understand why would he buy something so big and lavish and expensive. And I noticed on like different social medias and other YouTubers, relishing over this, saying that it was karma, and that's what he gets for like being a coon and supporting Trump, which I can understand their feelings, but at the same time, I felt kind of um um wrong for like being so happy about someone's downfall or someone's bad financial situation, because everyone's gone through financial situations. I've gone through them. Well, almost everyone. Like I've gone through financial situations, and I know a lot of other people, friends, family that have as well. So I didn't really want to report it, but that's not the reason why I'm talking about it right now. Now, I just saw the Advice Show. He's another YouTuber where he put out he played a clip of a news report about the situation where a news reporter went to talk to the man that owned the home, and that Darrell Scott was renting this house from with his wife. And this this man was basically Darrell Scott and his wife are not in the house no more. All of their stuff and their belongings is gone, and they're gone. They left before they could be evicted. And basically, the man who owns the home and who is suing Darrell Scott, he took the news reporter around the house. It seems like a mansion because it's so big and lavish. He took him around the house, showing him the house and how like lavish and luxurious and spacious it is. And he even went too far to show the payments that he agreed to pay every week, which was handwritten. And I found that to be strange. And the news reporter even asked, he's paying weekly? Because usually with like rent or a mortgage, you pay monthly. That's kind of odd. And the news reporter asked, okay, why is he paying weekly? And this is the kicker, guys. He was the owner of the house that he's using to pay for his rent through collections that he gets from his church. And I didn't know whether to laugh at that or to be disgusted, because there's a lot of these like pimp preachers who just pimp their congregations, particularly the mega churches, who pimp their congregation, who use church funds frivolously on things for themselves that they shouldn't be using it on. And it reminds me of the reason why I personally not only do not go to church no more, I don't give to the church like that. Like, at the most, I'll give like a few dollars, but that's it. The last time I went to church and gave the church I went to some money, I actually went with my mom, and she actually forced me to give $5 because at the time I wasn't working, and I was holding on to every little penny I could, and it actually pissed me off that she suckered me into giving $5. She made me feel so bad that I was basically, okay, here, take this. And I literally didn't have that much money on me. But yeah, this Pastor Darrell Scott, he's a piece of shit. Like, this is the reason why I think a lot of churchgoers need to be more careful with these churches and these pastors, because it's like we have people, a lot of these church members are struggling, living from paycheck to paycheck, predominantly like the elderly people who believe in the process of tithing and giving 10% of your income and giving offerings, and the more you give, the more you'll get. And it's like a lot of people don't understand that you're getting screwed. It's like you're not getting anything out of it. In these churches, you have all these people, particularly elderly, living on fixed incomes. Some people living from paycheck to paycheck, and they're just giving and giving to these pastors who are living these luxurious, lavish lifestyles. And it sometimes I feel like a lot of the members bring stuff like that on themselves. But at the same time, I don't really think a lot of Black people know the power of their money, because if they did, they wouldn't be giving so much to these churches, and it's really not necessary. I mean, hell, if you want to go to church or study the Bible, you don't gotta necessarily go to a church. Hell, you can get with like 5-10 other Christian friends of yours and like get together every Sunday and do like a Bible study in somebody's house. You know, you don't have to go to these churches where you're getting hustled and bamboozled out of your money. Getting anything out of it. If anything, I feel like with Black people, if we save and put aside a little money, the money that we have, like, let's say we stop giving to church, stop. I know a lot of Black people I know that like to smoke weed. Stop using all that money for weed and cigarettes. Save it. Or there's some Black people who like to spend frivolously on expensive designer clothes. Stop spending so much on those clothes and put it to the side. And hell, you can, like, over time, that money is going to add up and you can start a business. Hell, you can maybe use that money to move to another state, to move into a new apartment or put a down payment on a home. But I'll see if I can put the news report at the end. But Darrell Scott, you're a piece of shit. You disgust me. Like, that's all I have to say. Comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks,
Your
guys.
Side starts now.
If he's calling it a fake deal or fake lawsuit, he's definitely a con artist.
It's a News 5 exclusive. A local church pastor with ties to President Trump now accused of walking out on the lease on this $2 million home. At issue is the back rent owed on the Solon house Pastor Darrell Scott called home for 6 years. News 5's Derek Waller is live for us outside Scott's New Spirit Revival Church in Cleveland Heights. And Derek, the church apparently paid for that home.
Well, that's what this lawsuit claims, Robin. We're talking about $10,000 a month in rent paid out in weekly installments. But the landlord says Scott stopped paying up, so now he's suing.
I'm really in a tough situation.
Mana Argawal's sprawling 14,000 square foot stolen house boasts a 500 square foot master bath, cavernous walk-in closets, and 8 fireplaces.
Getting into the dining room here.
It's empty now because Argawal says Darrell and Belinda Scott weren't making payments on time. Facing eviction, he says they moved out so quickly last summer, the couple left extensive damage in the basement, and the alarm system they had installed is still chirping.
So you're saying he owes you
$563,000.
based on the time that he spent living here,
Right.
not even including actually purchasing the house?
That's correct, yes.
Argawal says it was a lease-to-own deal hashed out in 2010 out of desperation because of the slow economy. This handwritten agreement signed by the Scotts shows they were making weekly rent payments.
I've never heard of that before. Why is he paying for this weekly?
Because he get collection from the church. That's the reason.
So he's basically living week to week.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
In text messages to Argawal, Scott concedes his numbers are down at the church daycare, and he's driving a 9-year-old car, adding, "I don't live lavishly."
Is this lavish living to you?
Of course it is.
And what is your view?
Scott, who rose to prominence for his early support of Donald Trump's presidential campaign, has turned down multiple requests for an on-camera interview. But in a text message, he called this a fake lawsuit.
He says it's a fake lawsuit. He says it's going to get thrown out.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. My attorney feels that this is like a 110% guaranteed.
And in a series of Twitter messages tonight, I can tell you that Scott criticized me for even asking about this, still refusing to appear on camera. Pre-trial for this is not happening until May. In the meantime, that house sits vacant, and Argawal says he can't do anything with it until this trial gets wrapped up.